back to the Pickle Podcast Season 2. We have TikTok creator Pauly Long here. Just reached 1 million followers on TikTok, working on the Instagram here. Well, how you doing this morning, Pauly?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How
Pauly's,
are you?
Pauly was just making fun of me because of my technical issues here. I'm not usually a Zoom streamer, so we tried something else earlier and it didn't work, but we got him on the line, man. So, how's the weather in Bali this morning?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. It is a perfect weather, sunny day, not too hot, gorgeous. I sat out there with my shirt off a little bit earlier, just did some meditation, and it's
Mhm.
lovely.
Awesome, man. What kind of meditation do you do? Is it just the general meditations that a lot of people do, or do you have your own strategy?
I do nothing. That's
Clear your
that is
mind,
the
right?
best meditation, man. Meditation is doing nothing and thinking nothing. So I just
It
sit
is.
there and breathe really, really deep. And then I do a little breath work at the end of it. I do some Wim Hof at the end of it.
Okay.
And I do it nice. I finish off with a nice big breath hold, maybe two.
Hmm.
And it's awesome. It's a great way to just put yourself at peace in the beginning of the day.
That's a good point, man, because I remember doing the same thing. I don't know if this is if you know too much about Buddhism or not, but I actually got to practice some meditation with that, and that's all it is, man. We went into a monastery and just the point of it is just to think of nothing. And
Yeah.
I even had people that listened to sounds when they were meditating. That's kind of like high frequency sounds and stuff like that. If you've heard of it, that's I don't know if it's effective because I never tried it, but I know the meditation can have profound effects.
Yeah, it's good, man. Sometimes I'll do music. Typically, if I meditate at night, I like to put some high frequency music on or meditation music. But yeah, in the morning, I just typically just rock out in silence, and yeah, it's really nice, man. You could probably hear it in my voice. Pretty calm right now.
Yeah, you seem pretty calm, man. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah,
hurt. It doesn't hurt being out in Bali. Can you kind of explain to people that don't know where Bali is, where it's actually located, that are listening?
yeah. Bali, Indonesia, so Southeast Asia. So it's right around the same complex as Philippines and Thailand. It's commonly mistaken as Thailand. Everyone usually always says like
Hmm.
Bali is Thailand. It's Bali is a state, is an island of Indonesia.
Island, so it's its own state and it's an island. That's pretty
Yep,
interesting.
it's its own province of Indonesia,
I heard
and
that province was actually like discovered or taken over in like 1334 or something. Like there's been people on the island for God knows when, how long.
yeah, man, it's called the Island of the Gods. That's what it's referred to. Bali is the island of the gods. So it's a very ancient spiritual place. There's lots of very, very old architecture and statues and temples that have just, you can tell they've just been there for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it's really cool, man. Everything's intertwined. Everything's meshed in together. So you know, you got all these luxury villas being built, but it's all in the same area as the locals and the temples. And so there's never, you never really feel like you are fully, if you go to California, you go to LA, right? I mean,
Mhm.
you got like a shitty neighborhood. You got Compton right next to freaking, I
Right.
don't know, I forget whatever's next to
Whatever we call
Compton,
rich
right?
people. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like, but it's very like segregated, whereas like here it's all intertwined, for example. It's like everything's right in the same area. So it's cool, man. Yeah, you get that cultural feel, and then you could also have a nice place right there. And yeah, it's cool.
Nice, man. I've seen some of the architecture just by pulling up the Google image search. There's one main temple that they keep showing. It kind of looks like I can't really describe it, but it looked like it was one of the main scenes down there in Bali. I didn't know if it was a tourist attraction or what. Do you know which one it was?
Is it like two arches with a space in between? Is that the one you're referring
I think
to,
that is the
or?
one. Yeah, it looks like that. Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the one, then yeah. So that's actually not Bali, but it's an island of Indonesia right next to Bali called Lombok. And
Okay.
Lombok is a very popular place to go as well when you're like at Bali. Like a lot of people will head over to Lombok.
Uh-huh.
And the original towers. I forget what it's called. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, it's very popular. A lot of people go and get the photo because it's like got the space in between, so they'll stand
Mhm.
in between. And but they have a lot of mock ones here in Bali as well. So it's like they're all over the place. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure. I've
yeah.
seen
There's
some of
yeah.
the marketplaces that you've been to down there. Do they have a pretty rich marketplace? Can you get anything you need down there? I know you get some different stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you got grocery stores, man. It's not just like local markets everywhere. Like you have like actual grocery
Yeah.
stores, like that are the
Restaurants
same
too and everything,
style.
right?
What'd you say?
Like fully fledged, like do they have chain restaurants down there and stuff like that? Or
Yeah, yeah. There's McDonald's, Burger Kings, there's
you don't
Starbucks.
want to go.
There's like shit like that.
Yeah.
But like fast food stuff, they don't have like I don't know what
Like
the fuck, like
Cheesecake Factory or something, you know?
oh yeah, like Applebee's or Cheesecake Factory or like Ruth Chris. Like there's nothing like that here. But there's a lot of fast food chains. But I mean, but there's tons of luxury restaurants here for
Uh-huh.
sure. Like just not the Americanized ones.
Yeah. Do you find that food out there, even from the restaurants, do you find it less Americanized? Like, you know how American food can literally make you sick sometimes with all the ingredients and stuff. With like, you're obviously clean living out there. You're trying to eat clean and everything. If you go to a restaurant out there, are you going to have? Does it feel like the food when you're eating in America? Is there any difference between eating there in America? Like, can you tell?
I mean, yes and no, but no, I mean, it's a very gentrified place. So you have tons of westernized stuff. Most of the new places being built are all westernized
Hmm.
you know, with typical like egg and poached egg on a piece of avocado toast breakfast and like Buddha bowls type lunch with all the veggies and stuff in them and salads and all that. But I mean, I'll be honest, like I've gotten sick from eating at the restaurants here several times because they use a lot of oils and shit. So it's actually, I mean, you can eat clean here, but you can be a fat fuck here too, man. It's actually really easy to eat like garbage here. Because to be honest, everything is so close and accessible and easy to access that it's
Hmm.
actually really easy to be a fat piece of shit here. It's almost it's in my opinion, it's actually easier to be a fat fuck here than it is in America because because everything is so close, and then you have Grab and Gojek. Grab and Gojek are basically like the DoorDash and Uber Eats of Bali.
Hmm.
So and it's so quick and easy, and everything is so close. So you can just hop on your scooter and go, and man, there's just there's Bali is just like a ton of cafes and restaurants everywhere,
So
like everywhere.
how do you avoid getting to be a fat fuck out there? Then I know that a lot of people like if you have tourists out there, they're obviously gaining weight. So how have you done it so far? How have you avoided that?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's got just like anywhere else in the world, man. You got to have some discipline, but you can go to the gym
So you're
and
saying it doesn't matter where you live, you're always going to get fat if you have bad eating habits.
of course, and of course. But hey, I have my fair. I know my diet obviously is what got me viral is eating all these raw testicles and raw steak and all that, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But I still eat my fair share of junk and
I'm sure.
you know my wife is or my fiance, we're getting married in 2 weeks, but
No,
she's
congratulations.
thank you, she's a huge advocate of gelato and croissants, and of course I've become I'm a dad now, so I'm kind of like, all right, like yeah, I'll have some too, right?
Might as well.
which I need to stop, man, because I used to be more disciplined than I am, but hey, I still have abs. I'm still fucking jacked, and I'm still like 15% body fat, so I'm good. I'm all good.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm a little older, so I can tell it's a little different from me. I actually have to put in more work as opposed to not doing anything and just staying skinny with the metabolism. But Like I'm
No,
like,
it is harder. It is harder. I mean, I'm only, I don't know how old you are. I'm 31, and it's like even now that I'm in my 30s, it's just everything's fucking changed. Like,
it's so much harder, dude. It's so much
bro, I'm like waking up with back pain every morning. I'm like, this is fucked. What's happening? I got to do yoga like 3 times a week now. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
I feel like it just hits you out of nowhere. I'm almost 40 actually. I'm like 39 years old, so I'm getting up there, bro. I got a workout
You're
plan.
almost
So
into the next decade, man. Get ready for the
exactly.
40s.
Dude, I remember when my dad turned 40 years old, he got one of those turning 40 like gift packages with all the bad smelling candy and shit like that. And it just horrified me. And I'm just glad that I'm not as fat as my dad was when he was my age. That's the number one goal, man. Is just to maybe not be as fat as people were back then.
Yeah. True that.
But yeah, dude, it's been a crazy time just ever since like the pandemic and stuff. It's been harder for people to keep healthy, and I guess it doesn't change no matter where you go, nothing changes, you know. So like what would you suggest for someone who's like trying to improve their health? What's like the number one things you would suggest to them?
To improve your health.
Yeah, just someone who's like generally not feeling healthy and just wants to, you know, get a boost on something or maybe needs some help.
Man, I mean that is a long answer there, but I mean
Hmm.
it's a well, I guess my number one piece of advice would be to look at it as a compound effect. Don't expect your health to change by doing one thing. You
Hmm.
know, start with
Good
one
point.
thing. Start with one thing. Don't try to do everything at once, but start with one thing, accomplish it, make it a habit,
Hmm.
and then it becomes a habit that you can do on autopilot without thinking about it, and it becomes easy. Then add another good habit
I
into
think you
it.
just
So you're,
described what I had a meeting about the other day called habit stacking.
yeah,
You
yeah.
get one habit
I mean, I
now.
learned this from
Another, yeah.
the ever so famous book Atomic Habits goes all into this. So yeah, that's like one of the best books ever, man. It's so good, and it really taught me a lot. But yeah, it talks about
Yeah.
habit stacking, and yeah, it's exactly right. You know, so if your plan is to get healthy, start with something that's like super foundational, like sleep. You know, so like with your sleep, are you going to bed on time? Are you sleeping in too late? Are you
Hmm.
not getting enough sleep? How's the quality of your sleep? Is your room the right temperature? Are you using the right amount of blankets? Too much? Too little? Are you too cold? Are you too hot? Is it
Hmm.
dark in your room? Are you watching too much? Do you have too much screen time before you go to sleep? Do you have blue light blocking glasses after the sun goes down?
Hmm.
Uh,
I know you
are
do,
you
right?
are you drinking enough water? You know, before the end of the day, are you eating too late? There's so many factors that play into your sleep. So like, get your sleep right, and then when your sleep, it might right now, I'll be honest, like, my sleep sucks and it affects me a lot.
Hmm.
And it's to be honest, I've been working my ass off. So I'm like having a lot of these late nights where I end up staying up too late. I'm grinding, and it just gets the
Yeah.
best of me. And usually I'm not like that. Usually I'm pretty dialed in, but just for the past few months, we've had so much going on. And like I said,
Mhm.
with like the wedding and everything coming up, I'm building my new business. So it's just been like my sleep's been fucked, and it affects me. It really does. And so it's like when I'm on point, like before we moved into this new villa, which we're only here for a total of 3 months, and then we're moving again
Mhm.
in like 1 month. But before that, it was like every day I'd be up at like between 5:30 and 6 every single day. I would get up, I'd put my bathing suit and my hoodie on. I would literally take a piss, drink some water, and drive straight to the spa. Hit the cold plunge, the 4 degrees
Oh yeah.
Celsius cold plunge first thing. So this was like within 10 to 15 minutes after waking up, I am diving into a freaking 4 degrees Celsius cold plunge and sitting in there for 1 to 2 minutes, hopping in the other cold plunge, which is like 10 to 12 degrees Celsius for another 1 to 2 minutes, getting in the sauna for 20 minutes, sweating my fucking dick off, and then doing another round in each cold plunge for 1 to 2 minutes each.
Mhm.
And so this was like a total of like 45 to 60 minutes that I would do it would take me every morning. And then I would get back and then I would take my supplements to start my day. Um, and, uh, and I would drink coconut water when I got back from the spa. And then by 7:30 sharp, I was at my computer checking my emails, getting on calls, doing whatever for like the first like hour and a half of the day. And then 9 o'clock, I take a break, and then I hang out with my son for a little bit, and obviously spend some time with my girl. And then after that, I'm to the gym. So it's like when you develop like a schedule like this and a routine in the mornings, that's also going to help you stay really healthy, because when you have a routine, you're so focused on what you need to do to meet the requirements of that routine, which it then becomes, at a certain point, you're going to have to eat. And so when eating becomes a part of your routine at a very specific time, it almost encourages you to eat something healthy, because you know that if you don't eat something healthy, you're probably going to get fucked up and feel like shit if you're not, you know what I mean? So like if you want to be healthier, establish good sleep, establish a good morning routine, start your day off with 5 minutes of something, breathing, meditation, jogging, sunlight, I don't know, like whatever you got to
Even just
do.
get out and take a
But
walk, just anything,
yep,
at least.
a brisk walk, yeah, dude, for sure. That goes a long, long way. I think most people just think diet and exercise is like the key to health, but like it's more than that.
True.
And I could say diet and exercise, but I figured I would at least give a different approach to it, because I feel like everyone just always talked about diet and exercise. So
Right.
talk about
Mind,
sleep.
body, soul involved too, especially with the cold plunge. That can reset your
It's
whole.
actually huge. It's like that's like the next level. Like in my opinion, like diet and exercise is almost like the easy thing
Yeah,
compared to the rest of it.
I know,
Because those
right?
are like,
Because it's hard to focus. I mean, you can have habits, but are you really like focusing on the right things mentally? I think people miss out on that.
yeah, it's all a compound effect. It all plays a key role. Every little part of it plays a key role in the overall spectrum of how you feel and how you act and how you execute, what you need to do each day.
Do you believe in 3 meals a day, or do you just eat when you're hungry?
Um, yeah, that right now for me too. Like I said, my whole schedule's messed up right now. I can't wait to when we move back, because we moved to a different area. That's why my schedule got messed up, because
Uh-huh.
I'm like not in my element right now. Which is not an excuse. It's a total excuse, but yeah, that changes from time to time. Typically, though, um, yeah, 2 to 3. Sometimes it's two. It just depends. It really depends. Um, I haven't quite figured out what I respond the best to yet. Um, I'm always experimenting, because my body has been going through a lot of change for like the past 2 years.
Mhm.
It changed a lot entering my 30s. So yeah, shit, man. Back in the day, I used to do 4 to 5 meals a day. There's no fucking way I'm doing that now.
Smashing like a tank. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was 240 pounds of fucking muscle back then too. So it's like
Yeah.
there's just I don't need it. My legs were literal tree trunks. So it's like now it's a whole different story. And I'm also eating like such more high quality foods now than I back then. I would just eat fucking Chick-fil-A and Chinese food buffet and McDonald's and everything, because I was just a big tank of a human being just devouring whatever came into my path. Now it's like, all
Yeah.
right, now I'm eating steak, testicles, liver, raw salmon, eggs, like high quality duck eggs and high quality chicken eggs, and so it's like a whole different. I don't know. Like I've just not only has my body gone through change, but my diet has gone through so much change, which has also then directly impacted my body. Like
Mhm.
I actually my tolerance for junk food has gone way down. Like I'm really struggling to digest
Mhm.
um, garbage like I used to. I used to be able to just, dude, it was insane, man. Like I was a different breed of human the way I could eat. Like for real. It was like people would literally look at me and be like, dude, you need to have like a TV show where you eat food, because it was like that. I'm serious, bro.
I
I
believe
would
you, dude.
average, and like when I would go to Chick-fil-A, I would get 4 chicken sandwiches and a waffle fry. 4. 4 chicken
That's
sandwiches and
insane,
a
bro.
bottle of
Those
fries.
things are filling. I eat two. I'm
Dude,
probably full.
it was nuts, man. I would get sushi. I would get 6 rolls of 8, 48 pieces of sushi. Like it was like stupid. I would get a large pizza, a large meat lovers pizza. I'd eat the whole pizza, the whole large meat lovers pizza. Like it was just dumb shit that didn't make any
Wait
sense
a
for
minute.
my
How
body.
tall are
I'm
you? Are
six,
you like over
I'm
6 foot?
6'4". I'm
Six
six
four.
four.
Okay, so you can pack it
I'm
in a little bit, but that's still a lot.
and I was big. I was a big fucking jacked up dude. So it's just like
Mhm.
I was so used to eating and stuff, and my body worked. And then all of a sudden, like I just damaged my gut so bad from alcohol abuse, like just getting blackout drunk on the weekends. I was never like an alcoholic that like drank during the week and all that kind of shit. Maybe a beer or two here and there if I went out with my buddies.
Yeah.
But the weekends, I was just destroying my body, man. I would go so hard on Saturday nights, and I would just be fucked. And then as I got into my later 20s, it just caught up to me, and now I really damaged my gut doing that, and overeating when I smoked weed and got too high, and all this fucking shit.
Destroys your
And
gut health with the alcohol. I've
oh,
noticed
it
for
wrecked it. I
weeks.
wrecked my gut, man. Yeah, I developed a lot of like gastrointestinal problems, GI issues, and it's carried with me now, man. It sucks. I'm trying to fix my gut, so I do a lot of kefir. I drink kefir every day, man.
Mhm.
Probiotic. And,
Probiotic, yeah.
I'm getting into kimchi now. Like my girl
Oh
loves
yeah.
kimchi. Starting to do kimchi, so I really want to do my best to rebuild my gut. But it's crazy how much as well. As soon as I got on this carnivore, like I don't want to say carnivore. I'm not like full carnivore diet, but like
Mhm.
as soon as I started eating all this steak and raw meat and testicles and liver and heart and organs and whatever, like bro, my body really did uh transition. It adapted. It did something. It morphed, and
Mhm.
just in the last year alone, my tolerance for junk food has really, really decreased. Like if I eat some shit, dude,
Yeah.
I'm burping, I'm bloated, I'm fucking, it's like messes me
Like your
up,
body's
man.
rejecting it after so long.
Literally,
It's
that's
just like
exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. I'm rejecting. My body is literally rejecting food that it doesn't
I
want.
think eating like that, like you do, honestly, just reverts your fucking DNA or something back to caveman times where you're seeking nutrients only and you're seeking the best things and your body doesn't want any of that bullshit. Like, you know?
Amen. Amen. It's so true. It's so true, which has really motivated me to get more serious with it. And I'll tell you this, the day I'll be honest, I'm actually really, really starting to visualize a fully raw diet, full raw, never cooked again.
Mhm.
I honestly think I'm gonna be there in like the next couple of years. I can see it happening. Not right now because I love cheeseburgers too much, and I'm
Mhm.
also trying to gain equity of a cheeseburger company out here. So,
Nice.
so we're not there yet. But
Might
but
have to have
like
a couple cheeseburgers when that happens.
yeah. But I'll tell you this, dude. When I eat a full raw day, like raw steak, raw salmon, raw testicle,
Mhm.
raw eggs, raw milk, that's like a perfect day, dude. I feel like a fucking wildebeest in the wild. I'm like ready to go. Like I am just so full of energy because your digestion is so good. And when you digest food properly, that is like the biggest thing, dude. Like when
Yeah.
you can digest food properly, you are on level 100 of energy. And man, that right there, raw steak, raw testicle, raw salmon,
Uh-huh.
raw egg, raw milk, and some butter. Man, that right there, that's a good day of eating for me. Like I'm feeling
Man.
good for that. It's
Speaking
crazy.
of like, I don't know what it is about like butter, but I've always drank like melted butter. Like when there was leftover butter, I just drank it, bro. And I just eat butter. You know what I mean? Like it's pure butter, not like fake
Yeah,
margarine and shit, but like I would just eat
yeah,
butter. And I never knew why I wanted to eat the butter, but I think it was just
yeah.
like my body saying this is probably good for you. And everybody else is like, don't eat butter. It's bad for you. And I'm like, really? Because I
Yeah.
really want to eat it.
That's actually funny you say that because growing up, I was actually a little skeeved out by butter. So like when I would have like butter with bread, if it had like even just a little bit too much, I would get this like kind of like gag reflex if it was too like mushy, too
Yeah.
much like butter. which is weird because now I eat butter. I take bites of it by the stick.
Yeah.
And that only happened recently, like within the last year or so. And I kind of like had stopped using. I didn't really use butter for a while. I used to only, for years, I would only cook with a little bit of olive oil.
Mhm.
I completely stopped using butter because I used to be all like gym guy, no butter, low calories, that type of shit. Um, and uh, and just one day, like when I saw people eating butter, I think I saw like Liver King eat butter or some shit like that, like a year and a half
Yeah.
ago, whatever. And I just like took a slice and kind of like was like fucking ate it. And when I had that like paradigm shift about butter and like the benefits of it, yeah, all of a sudden when I took a bite, I was like, wait, this is actually like it's good. It's kind of good. And like I took another bite and then I was like, I really like this. And it was such a you can really convince yourself that you don't like something
Hmm.
all in your mind. And
Right.
when your body actually enjoys it. And now, just like you said, like man, if I'm really hungry, really, really hungry, and I'm in a calorie deficit and I eat butter, oh my, it's like I feel life entering me. It is so good. It is so fulfilling. It
It
is
is.
so, it's the one of the best sources of fat you can have, saturated fat. And it's like when I take a bite of it when I'm really hungry, I feel better. It
Uh-huh.
can actually, like, I've had a headache before from being hungry. Took a
Mhm.
big bite of butter within 5 minutes, my headache was gone.
Yeah.
Like I'm not exaggerating right
That's
now. And so
crazy.
it's like, yeah, I think it's all so much of this shit is in the all in the mind. Just like
I
raw
think there's a lot of
food.
lies out there, you know.
Oh, well, of course, obviously.
Well, one example is like not a lie, but just I have this whole theory that when you're actually hungry for something, you have an innate need to just go take a bite out of like a head of lettuce and a cucumber and like get some steak or something, get some chicken. But like people have just been like brainwashed into thinking that they need these like items from these corporations with flashy colors, flashy logos and stuff like that, and the most trendy stuff that's just horrible for you. But like I honestly think if people weren't given those choices, they would just crave meat and veggies all day and stuff like that, butter, stuff like that. Like I think things are kind of backwards.
Right. No, it's so true. That's so true. And I mean, obviously, you see all the kids' foods and all that kind of shit, all tie-dye color on the low
Fruity
part of the shelf.
Pebbles, every single color in the rainbow, every single dye in the rainbow.
Of course, I mean, obvious. It's so obvious. And if it's not obvious to you, then at this point you're just kind of I hate to always say you're asleep, but it's like, yeah, you're sleeping,
There's a
obviously.
lot of people sleeping on stuff that would benefit them. I don't think it's necessarily their fault, but I think that a lot of things are kept from us throughout history that are like natural remedies and stuff. Is just like there's a lot of things out there that people discover that are actually good for them that you never knew before. They're just coming out now that have probably been
Yeah.
out for centuries.
Yeah. So true, man. So true. My goal is to get testicles in the average human diet, man.
Dude, if you could
So,
if you could actually sway society into making it like raw testicle an actual just daily snack for people, that would be like a pretty big accomplishment, you know?
dude, I'll tell you what, man. When I eat a raw testicle, I feel so good. They are so good, man. They really charge you. They charge you up. Awesome stuff.
You're just reminding me of like it's just like the stuff that you eat actually gives you energy. And like if you eat food, you could eat all day long, something that's not going to break down and give you energy. You can just keep eating and eating because you're sluggish. You feel like crap. You have no energy, and you're just eating. And like, why don't I have this energy? Is because, well, they don't even put like fiber in food anymore. So you're just eating and you're not getting full and you're not getting all your fiber in your diet for your gut anyway. People only eat like a third or fifth of what fiber we used to eat like, 100 years ago. It's drastically gone down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your body looks for vitamins and minerals when it eats. So it
Yeah.
wants vitamins A through zinc, and and if it doesn't get them, then it's going to probably keep searching, and that's how
Mhm.
you can eat, all this pizza and think that you're still hungry, and then you end up getting wicked full when you overeat
Mhm.
because there's obviously not a lot of nutrients in pizza, right? A lot
No.
of actual nutrients besides, I think we've all been brainwashed as well to just focus on the macros, proteins, fats, and carbs. But
Mhm.
that's like not. Why do you think all these bodybuilders are bloated as fuck?
Yeah.
Because they're all they care about is proteins, fats, and carbs.
And
So their
carbs
body
too. Yeah.
overeating with the actual nutrients it needs to gain the amount of proteins, fats, and carbs they need to get that massive physique. But then they turn to the side and they stop sucking in
Yeah.
their abs, and they got the steroid belly, right? And it's
Yeah.
not just from steroids; it's because they've had a gallon of fucking rice just to be able
Yeah.
to get through a workout. So it's like,
It
you
was like
know,
the fat on the outside of your body too. Not a lot of people know that you have fat on the inside of your gut called subcutaneous fat. And
yeah,
you could lose all the weight you have on the outside, but if you eat like those guys, you're going to get a lot of. It's like a bunch of fat in your stomach plus the steroids. It's just not a good look, you know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think maybe Liver King had a little bit of that going on.
Probably. I Yeah, man. It's like I was saying before too. Like ever since I started eating these foods too, it's become a lot easier for me to be fully satisfied without having to eat as much because
Hmm.
yeah, my body was so used to eating these massive meals in my
How long does
twenties.
it take to go from where you were before to then? How long does it take to adjust?
What do you mean?
Like if you're just having a shitty diet and then one day you switched to,
Oh,
yeah, how long would it take
um,
for you to kind of normalize out and start to
I,
feel the
I'll,
difference?
yeah. You know what? I was actually overeating at first because once again, I was used to eating these huge meals. And so I would sit there and I would get a huge steak, two bone marrows, four eggs, a huge piece of liver, half a testicle, like all in one, and like a huge bowl of fruit with honey and like a big glass of
No.
milk. I had these ridiculous meals thinking, and I'm like, dude, I would eat this meal. I would fucking pass out on the couch for like
Yeah.
an hour after because my body was just like, holy shit. Not only is this a big volume, but there is so much vitamins and minerals to process right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm shutting down, and my body I would get like fatigued, and I'd be like, and I didn't know why because I was like, wait a second, I thought I'm eating healthy right now. I'm eating like good fruits and local honeys and all this meat and bone marrow and eggs, and I should be good. And so it took me like a solid 2 months to figure it out. Like of kind of like trial and error. I was trying all these different things
Too
and
much of
trying different.
something is never always a good thing,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's just when you eat the right stuff, you really don't need to eat as much. For
no,
sure. I know, dude. I know a guy I connected with recently. He's like shredded, really healthy guy, and he's only been eating once a week, or once every 6 days. He eats now, and every 6 days. He sits down to have his feast, and he eats for 5 hours straight, and he eats to get he's the one who told me about vitamins A through zinc. That's
mhm.
what he said, and so he eats like weird shit too. But
You must be
but yeah,
storing
it's like
energy in a crazy way to have enough energy from 5 hour meal and then stretch that out over 6 days. You know, he's got to be changing on the inside somehow to do that.
yeah. Yeah, man, there's just different ways to do stuff, and I feel like I'm constantly learning and experimenting in different foods, different diets, and
Hmm.
meals, and all that. I haven't found the right answer, but I've definitely made a lot of progress, and I feel like anyone else too that's in that position. Just if something's not working, just try something different, and
Hmm.
if that starts to work, then roll with it, and then when it stops working, keep trying something different, and
Yeah,
it goes for anything in life, you know.
for sure. I've heard, when you were talking about how sluggish it made you, I heard something recently that we ingest more vitamin B or B12 or something like that than we ever should on a daily basis. Like if you have a bunch of cereal in the morning and then you have an energy drink that has the B12 and you have like oatmeal that has B12 in it, like people are actually overdosing on B12 like all the time. I don't know
Really?
if it's B12, it might be one of the B vitamins, but people are just like ODing on it all the time. And it
What
actually
does that make you feel when you have too much B12?
it makes you feel sluggish. It actually reverses if you
Okay.
have too much of it, you actually feel run down. That's
Yeah,
why,
that
yeah,
could be be, yeah, that's probably right, to be honest. Yeah, I've heard vitamin B12, magnesium, stuff like that is good to have before bed because it helps relax you. So that, I guess that makes sense. If you have too much
Yeah,
of it during the day, you're going to end up being too relaxed and therefore
true.
just like tired.
Interesting. So the main question that I think that I probably wondered, and I don't know if you've answered on your TikToks because I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen all your YouTube videos yet. But what started your path of eating raw meat? Like, what was the transition there? Like, when did you start to believe in that and do it?
Yeah, so I first saw Liver King go viral back in 2021 on some big page. He was eating a big raw testicle, and so it, piqued my curiosity, and I followed him, and then I started watching what he was doing. I started following the Carnivore MD and a couple
Hmm.
other guys, a couple other big guys in the space. Just started reading up on the carnivore diet and watching what people were doing. So I said, all right, I'm going to give this a shot because of my GI issues, my stomach issues. And so
Yeah.
I started out just eating like, steak, not raw steak, but, medium rare steak and making eggs and doing some raw eggs and cooked eggs and bone marrow, a little bit of liver. I started doing the raw liver just because I saw like Liver King doing raw liver. So I was like, all right, I guess I can eat it raw if he's eating it raw. So yeah, I was just kind of doing like the basics: steak, liver, eggs, bone marrow, like nothing crazy. And then and then
That wouldn't be too crazy for a lot of people to try those things. That's not too extreme.
very basic,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bone marrow, I
And
mean, that stuff's delicious if you have it right.
oh, bone marrow slaps, dude. It's so
So
good.
good.
Yeah, it's beef butter. It's meat butter.
Pretty much.
But but yeah, the funny story behind like all the testicles and all that shit and how my TikTok blew up is I was trying some food challenges back in 2021 for YouTube, doing Indonesian food challenges because I'm out here in Bali, and one of the Indonesian ladies I know here, she was like our old nanny at one of our old villas, and I had told her, hey, if you can get a bunch of cool stuff and cook it, I'll give you money for the food and like go pick it up and make it for us, and then we'll come and hang out with you and you eat with us and we'll film it, whatever.
Yeah.
And so we did that. And one of the things I'd asked her for was goat testicle because I heard that was popular here, and she couldn't find them. Well, 6 months later, she found them. She texted me and she goes, "Hey, I can get them today and bring them when I come over." I said, "Yeah, sure." So she gets the goat testicles and brings them to our place, and and so I was like, "Here we go." So I cut them open and tried it raw, and it wasn't bad. I actually kind of liked it, and I felt really good. And so then I filmed it, put it on TikTok the next day, and that was my first video, like of the whole like raw meat carnivore stuff, was the goat testicles, and then that video went viral overnight, and that was April 18th, 2022. That was the day like my whole life changed from that one TikTok.
2022.
Yeah,
This hasn't been that long since he blew up. We have about a minute left here. I
yeah.
kind of want to take a chance to rep some of this gear that I got from you and maybe have you talk about your brand Fevry. Is that what it said?
Oh, that's right. You got my hoodie, man. I appreciate that. Breast milk is the best milk.
Breast
That's
milk is
right.
the best milk. If it's reversed, I'll reverse it on the so people can see it. But it's great,
Yes,
man. It's got the
every
little
brand,
bottles.
every brand. I got my February shirt on right here too,
Yes,
man. Let's
sir.
go.
I'm not wearing it right now because it's like 85 degrees in here.
No, you're good. You're good. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for supporting. Yeah, shop.paulylong.com has all the February merch at it. Steak shirts, breast milk shirts, butter shirts, testicle shirts. We got them all, man.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, if anybody wants to check out Pauly Long, where can they find you, man? We got about 30 seconds.
Yup. Yeah, at Pauly Long, man. Keep it simple. PAULYLONG. Pauly Long on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and yeah, go check out what I'm doing.
Awesome, man. I appreciate your time this morning. I hope you have a crazy rest of your day. I know that you're probably going to be recording a TikTok or two, so I'll be looking forward to that when I wake
Appreciate
up tomorrow morning. So I'll check out TikTok. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on the show, man, and have fun in Bali, man. I wish I was there with you.